Welcome back to A View to a Grill. I'm Johnny. Today we're doing a charcoal comparison. Let's get right into the charcoal we're comparing and the cost. The first charcoal we're going to compare is a brand we all know, and that is Kingsford charcoal. It comes in at about 68.25 cents per pound. The next charcoal is relatively new, and that is Jealous Devil charcoal. And that's coming in at about 94.85 cents per pound. And then we have B&B charcoal, and that's coming in at about 56.65 cents per pound. Just for fun, let's take a closer look at each one of the brand's charcoal briquette. The first one up will be Kingsford, and they just use this strip of paper that you peel off. I just take about 5 of them out of the bag. Here is a close-up look at the briquette, and you notice it has the letter K on one side, and then we turn it around and it has these 2 impressions on the back, and from what I hear, that is to help in airflow. Next up is Jealous Devil, and they use a string, and this one is easy open all the way. I'm taking out 5 of these also just so I can show you something a little later. And if we take a closer look, check out this briquette. It's kind of big, it's smooth, and there's no branding on this briquette at all. And last up is B&B. B&B also has a string, and this one was just a little bit harder to get off because the string broke. Now we can get 5 of these out of the bag and take a closer look at the briquette. You can see that this briquette is nice and dark. It has the B branding on it on both sides. Now let's take a look at our little piles here. We have first the Kingsford, then we have the Jealous Devil, and then we have the B&B charcoal. If we do a quick side-by-side comparison of just a single briquette, the Kingsford briquettes are the smallest and fairly smooth. The B&B, I believe these are the second largest. The texture is dark and coarse. The Jealous Devil has a smooth, kind of grayish color to it. Now that we've looked at each one of the briquettes, let's talk about the setup that I'm about to use. Clearly, I cannot go by the briquette count since none of these are the same size. So I decided to go by weight. I'll put 5 briquettes on the scale, and you can see here that Kingsford is 4.2 ounces. And then 5 B&B briquettes weighs 10.7 ounces. And then 5 Jealous Devil briquettes weigh about 10.5 ounces. Now the Jealous Devil briquettes, even though to me they look larger, seems like they weigh less just by a little bit. I'll be using Weber kettle chimney starters for each one of these and tear them out as I go. We're going to be going for 3 pounds of briquettes in each Weber chimney starter. We'll start with B&B, and I was able to get 3.04 pounds of briquettes into the Weber chimney starter. Here's what that looks like in the chimney starter, and then I'll just put my hand in there for some reference. For the Jealous Devil charcoal, I was able to get 3.16 pounds into the Weber chimney starter. I'll also put my hand in there just for some depth reference. For the Kingsford charcoal, I was able to get 3.02 pounds in the chimney starter, and again I'll put my hand in there just for some reference. And I'll be using the same kind of chimney stand for each chimney starter. Now that we have everything set up, let's see which brand puts out the most smoke. Now I'm doing my best to get all of these lit at the same time, and this is 30 seconds compressed into 8 seconds. Now we can start our stopwatch and start this experiment. Here is 3 minutes compressed into 8 seconds. The angle and the direction of my camera was pointing towards the light. I'm getting kind of blown out by white here. So I decided to grab my other camera and film from the other side. The color is much better from this angle. The B&B and Jealous Devil are putting out about the same amount of smoke. The Kingsford charcoal is putting out a ton of smoke. And that took us to our 4-minute mark. And then at our 5-minute mark, clearly Kingsford is putting out the most smoke. We're going to go ahead and go to the other side of the charcoal again and get a closer look. This is a shot of the Jealous Devil, and then we move to Kingsford, and then we move to B&B. I'm thinking the B&B is a little bit clearer than the Jealous Devil, but let me know in the comments below. Now that we know that the Kingsford puts out the most smoke, let's check which brand ashed over the fastest. Here we are at about 10 minutes. And Kingsford is still smoking heavily. But if we go around to the other side and take a look, we're starting to see the Jealous Devil has a little ash. The Kingsford has not ashed, and B&B has a little ash on the edges. Now, one of the reasons why I'm doing this video is because I've noticed a difference in Kingsford for about the past year and a half, that it has been putting out more smoke than it used to. And this angle right here, it kind of proves that point. Then here at about the 11-minute mark, the B&B and Jealous Devil are clear. And then at around the 13-minute mark, Kingsford is now burning clear as well. Now that we're at our 15-minute mark, let's take a look and see who's ashed over. Taking a look inside the B&B chimney starter, I'm going to say that B&B charcoal is ready to go. Kingsford is still not ready to go. And the Jealous Devil is ready to go. You can start grilling with B&B and Jealous Devil now. It's already hot outside, but it's getting pretty hot over these lit chimney starters, and I'm actually starting to worry a little bit about my camera. So that's why you see me holding it up so high. And then finally, at 19 minutes, Kingsford is ashed over and ready to grill. Now let's take some heat measurements and see how hot these briquettes are getting. Now here we are at 20 minutes, and I'll be using the ThermalWorks IR gun for these heat readings. I'm also going to leave this portion of the video unedited so you can see exactly what I'm doing. For the Jealous Devil briquettes, I'm shooting the top of the chimney starter, and the highest temperature reading that I got was 573 degrees. For the Kingsford charcoal, I'm also shooting the highest part of the chimney, and the highest reading I got from Kingsford was 665 degrees, and that's pretty hot. And then for the B&B charcoal, again shooting the top of the chimney, I got the highest reading of 712, but I didn't have the best camera work, so we're going to reshoot that so you can see that I'm shooting the top of the chimney starter. And this time the highest reading I got was 694 degrees, still the hottest of the three. Now that we know how hot these things are, let's take a look at which brand lasted the longest. We're now at 25 minutes into this experiment. Let's take a look at inside of each chimney. B&B still looks good, and even the B's are still dark. The Kingsford is looking good, and the coals are maintaining their shape. And then the Jealous Devil, one thing I want you to notice is that you cannot see the bottom grate of the chimney starter. Let's check again. We're at about 30 minutes in, and it was so hot over these chimney starters, I just got the best shot I could at this point. Now here we are at about the 40-minute mark. I changed lenses so I can be further away but still get a good shot. For the Jealous Devil, you can now see that bottom grate. For the Kingsford, you can see that the coals are now starting to break down. And the B&B, the B's are white, but the shape still looks pretty good. Now we're reaching 45 minutes in. We'll take another look, and then looking inside of the Jealous Devil chimney, you can see the bottom grate even more. And inside the Kingsford chimney, you can see the drop on that is quite significant. And then looking at the B&B, well, they're still looking pretty strong. What I want to show you is a side-by-side of how we started on the left to how it's going on the right for Kingsford, and the difference is dramatic. Now let's get the ThermalWorks IR gun and shoot some more temperatures. First, I'll shoot the top of the chimney starter, and then I'll move that to the bottom. As you can see, Jealous Devil is still blazing hot. We'll do the same for Kingsford, and at the top you can tell that the temperature is not as hot as it was, and then where the charcoal is, it's still pretty hot, but it doesn't get over 600. For the B&B, the top is still pretty hot, but where the coals are, it's starting to cool down, and it does not get over 600 as well. Now let's jump all the way to an hour and 25 minutes in. Here is the Jealous Devil. Still has some charcoal in it. I'm going to go ahead and say that Kingsford is done, and B&B still has some charcoal in the game as well. Now we're at about an hour and 50 minutes. Jealous Devil is done. Kingsford has been done for a while, and B&B is done as well. We're going to call that a tie between B&B and Jealous Devil. I know some of you are going to be curious about what does the ash pile look like. Well, as far as I can tell, the ash pile for each brand of charcoal, well, they look about the same. And now, based on my non-scientific experiment, I'm going to say that B&B is the king of these three charcoals, simply because you get a great product at a very low price compared to the other two brands. Now, if you haven't already hit that subscribe button, hit it. Thank you for watching A View to a Grill. I'll see you guys next time. Take care, y'all.